For May 2012, this is Orion Sports and Entertainment Promotions Wrestle-Rap. Hello once again, sports and sports entertainment fans. I'm David Barnes, owner of Orion Sports and Entertainment Promotions, bringing you the news and events from both Intergalactic Independent Wrestling and Pride and Honor Fighting. Let's get it started. The April 4th, 2126 episode of Intergalactic Independent Wrestling's television show Collision began with Dewey Cheatham always cheating by way of a set of brass knuckles to pin Sebastian Rook. The Irish Hellcat Shannon Egan's added another loss to Nightingale's losing streak when she pinned the former nurse with her finisher, Calling Shenanigans. Johnny Black Knight pinned Herman Glopp with his finisher, the Unholy Grail. The Skyscrapers defeated the Annihilators when Lex Sky pinned Thalos with a power slam. Nuts Enough defeated the BFFs by disqualification when Donna Trump repeatedly whipped Tough Enough into the security railing. You would think that since all these matches take place 100 years into the future in Champions of the Galaxy game time, given the fact that the game mixes science fiction with the world of professional wrestling, force wheels would replace security railings around the ring. That's some food for thought for the game's creator, Tom Filsinger. Demaya, the Devil's Daughter, pinned Plain Jane White with a running spear off the ropes. The IIW Women's Tag Team title match between the Women's Tag Champions, the Multiple Bellas, and their challengers, the Queen Bees, failed to come to a decisive conclusion, being ruled a no contest when the BFFs entered the ring as the Queen Bees hit their double team finisher, the Swarm Attack, on Bella Nora and attacked the members of both teams, kicking and stomping on any girl who attempted to stand in the ring until several referees and IIW officials managed to escort them out of the ring. As the BFFs were being led back up the entrance ramp, Donald Trump grabbed the mic and announced to interim IIW Commissioner Massive that if he couldn't make a decision about the referee making a fast count on them on last week's show and giving the title match to the Queen Bees, they were going to ruin any and all future women's tag team title defenses until Massive made the correct decision and give her and Brittany Hilton their rightful shot at the titles. How would Massive respond to this threat? We'll keep you informed on any future developments. And in the main event, Epsilon Beta and the returning Bane defeated Dr. Brain and Bison in a tag team grudge match when Bane forced Dr. Brain to submit to the Bane Breaker. In the first match on the April 11th episode of Collision, Destiny made a successful return to the ring and got a small measure of revenge on Nightingale for her injuries on February 15th when she added to the former nurse's losing streak, pinning Gale by way of her flip rock bottom finisher, Your Destiny. Plain Jane White pinned the Irish Hellcat Shannon Egan's with her finishing move, Nothing Special. Harvard Yale defeated Sheikh Khalid Sirhan by disqualification when Khalid tossed a chair at the law school graduate outside the ring as Harvard dove off the top turnbuckle for a double axe handle attempt. The BFFs defeated the Sisters at Heart by disqualification when Desiree repeatedly whipped Brittany Hilton into the security railing. The 18-Wheelers defeated the Annihilators when Kenworth pinned Thanos with the Wheelers' tag finisher, the Fifth Wheel. The Skyscrapers defeated Road Rage when Lex Sky pinned Roadkill with a Hurricane Rana. King Francois Dubois successfully defended the IIW Heavyweight title when he pinned One Man Army with his finisher, the Royal Mutilation. The main event on this episode was supposed to be a rematch between the Queen Bees and the IIW Women's Tag Team Champions, the Multiple Bellas, for the IIW Women's Tag Team titles due to the BFFs ruining last week's title match. Massive ordered that the BFFs were to be banned from the building before the teams were allowed to come to the ring. Unfortunately for the fans in attendance, neither team came out to the ring, and the match was ruled a no contest. Camera crews went backstage in search of both the Multiple Bellas and the Queen Bees, and found hover forklifts blocking the doors of their dressing rooms, and IIW officials, including interim IIW Commissioner Massive, were frantically searching for the keys in order to move them. Seconds later, a car horn was heard, and the cameraman spun around to capture Donald Trump sitting in the passenger seat of the hover car, jingling a set of keys in her hand. As Matthews rushed the car in order to grab the keys, Brittany, who was driving the car, sped away as Donna brought her hand holding the keys back into the car, laughing all the way out of the Pepsico Arena. Coming up after this commercial break, the women's tag title controversy continues on the April 18th edition of Collision. So don't go away. We're coming right back.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Make him the cutest that I've ever seen.
About great meals in 30 minutes or less. Like today's savory mustard chicken baguette. It's so easy. You start with some fire-grilled chicken breast. Get a fresh warm baguette, lettuce, tomato, and a savory mustard sauce with seed from Madagascar. It's even quicker if you let Burger King make it.
Flavor from fire grilling, not from fat. The new savory mustard chicken baguette from Burger King. Come on over. The fire's ready.
What? Every cook needs a day off.
Some places I go really aggravate my allergies.
So I get Claritin Clear.
Look. You see that? This is all bayberry. And bayberry pollen is very allergenic.
Non-drowsy Claritin relieves my worst symptoms for 24 hours. You guys doing good?
Including itchy eyes, runny nose, and sneezing.
And only Claritin is proven to keep me as alert and focused as someone without allergies. Live Claritin Clear with non-drowsy Claritin.
Hi, I'm Tina Fey. This is new Garnier Nutrice Nourishing Color Foam. And this is Meg. Questions? Well, what's the difference? Let's see, shall we? This is Garnier's first foam that nourishes while it colors. It's got avocado, olive, and shea oils. Nourished hair, better color, Meg. A fresher, brighter color. Gorgeous. Tweet goodbye to grays. Well, She loves it. Do you ever stop talking? New Nutrice Nourishing Color Foam. Nourished hair, better color. Garnier. Take care.
I heat up, I cool down. When something gets in my way, I go around it. I got the music in me. I got the music in me. I got the music in me. Feels funky, feels good. Wanna tell you, I'm in the neighborhood. I got the music in me. Ain't got no troubles in my life.
Welcome back to Alliance Sports and Entertainment Promotions Wrestle-Rap for May 2012. I'm David Barnes, owner of Alliance Sports and Entertainment Promotions, and it's time to look at the results from the April 18th edition of IIW Collision. Before the first match took place, interim IIW Commissioner Massive came down to the ring with two announcements. The first announcement concerned the former nurse Nightingale, who'd been on a losing streak since her debut on December 10th. He announced that the IIW board of directors were growing increasingly unconfident that her bad luck was going to turn around anytime soon and were looking to cut their losses. However, they were going to give her one final chance to get a win on that night's card. That night would be do or die for Nightingale, as she was scheduled to face Destiny once again. If she failed to win the match, she would be released from Intergalactic Independent Wrestling. The second announcement concerned the BFFs and their actions for the past 2 weeks concerning the IIW Women's Tag Team titles. As you recall, on last month's edition of Wrestle-Rap, the Queen Bees earned the right to challenge the Multiple Bellas for the titles when Queen Bee No. 2 pinned Donna Trump with a power slam. However, Donna immediately complained to Massive that the referee made a fast 3 count and that the referee's decision should be reversed, giving the title match to Donna and Brittany Hilton. Now, before I continue with the recap, let me try to explain how pinfalls are decided in the Champions of the Galaxy game. On every wrestler's card, a pin situation appears on one of the 6 results on level 3 defense. That pin result has 2 numbers following it. One for if you're playing the basic form of the game, while a second number follows it in parentheses and is always lower than the basic pin rating by 3. This is the advanced fatigue pin rating. In order to gain a pinfall on your opponent by a level 3 move other than the wrestler's finishing move, the defensive wrestler would first need to roll the pin result on a 6-sided die and then fail to roll higher than his or her pin rating on 2 dice. In the case of fatigue pin ratings, if the total of the dice are higher than the fatigue pin rating, the fatigue pin rating increases by 1. In advanced rules, if the wrestler on offense rolls their finishing move on level 3 offense, which always occurs on a roll of 6 and on some wrestler cards on a roll of 5 as well, the finisher's rating, which can be as high as plus 5, depending on how powerful the character's creator wants that finisher rating to be, is added to the fatigue pin rating to increase the chances of the defensive wrestler rolling the modified pin rating or lower. With that being said, when Queen Bee No. 2 hit the power slam on Donna, Donna rolled Snake Eyes, and her fatigue pin rating at the time was 2. This is how I came up with the idea of the BFFs complaining of a fast count. So with that explanation out of the way, let's continue the recap. Massive informed the BFFs that he would look into the situation, but for the time being the decision stood. This decision, or as Donna and Brittany look at it, indecision, prompted the BFFs to interfere in the IIW Women's Tag Team title match on April 4th, resulting in a no contest. Massive felt that the fans deserved to see a rematch with no interference by the BFFs when he banned them from the building for the main event match on April 11th. Unfortunately, that match never took place because Donna and Brittany had barricaded the doors to the dressing room of both the Bellas and the Bees with hover forklifts and then driving away from the arena with the keys to the lifts, causing another no contest to be declared and forcing PepsiCo to bring in a hover towcraft to remove the lifts and free the teams. Because of the constant interference, Massive declared that the BFFs would get another challengers match with the Queen Bees for the right to face the Multiple Bellas for the IIW Women's Tag Team titles. But if the BFFs lost the match this time, they would go all the way to the bottom of the rankings and would have to earn their way back up to title contention. After the announcements, it was time for the do or die match for Nightingale, but try as she might, she wasn't able to get her first win in IIW as once again Destiny put her away with her finisher, Your Destiny. When the match was over, Gail grabbed the mic and told the crowd that she enjoyed her time in IIW, but she'll be back one day because she was going to work some other smaller independent promotions and hone her craft. We at Orion Sports and Entertainment Promotions wish her the best and hope to see her once again soon. When Sebastian Rourke lost to Dewey Cheatham 2 weeks before by getting knocked out with a set of brass knuckles, he requested a rematch against the former hover ambulance chasing shyster lawyer, and it was granted for this episode. Once again, Dewey always cheated to win the match when his Native American manager Hal interfered by tripping Sebastian as he attempted to suplex Dewey into the ring from the apron and held onto his legs while the referee made the 3 count. However, another referee came down to the ring and informed the official referee of the infraction, and the decision was reversed, awarding the match to Sebastian by automatic disqualification. Naturally, Dewey was livid, and he went after the former Honorable Golden Knight, but before he could lay a hand on Sebastian, Herman Glop slid into the ring, waving the sacred stick wildly in the air, causing everybody to scramble out of the ring for their own safety as Herman stood in the center of the ring and raised the sacred stick high in the air to the delight of the crowd. Bootylicious Bertha pinned the Irish Hellcat Shannon Egan's with her corkscrew senton bomb finisher, the Booty Bomb. After the match, a mysterious female came down to the ring and helped perform repeated senton bombs from separate turnbuckles onto Shannon. When it was all over, Shannon had to be carried away on a hover stretcher and would be out of action for 2 weeks. Camera crews tried to catch up with the mysterious woman in order to find out who she was, but she escaped the arena through the crowd. Los Tamales Caliente defeated Nuff's Enough when Spice pinned Tough Enough with a Hellman's neckbreaker. In a tough match in which momentum shifted between both wrestlers several times, Herman Glop pinned Torres with his flip-forward muscle-buster finisher, the Glop Drop. The Annihilators were supposed to take on the 18-wheelers in the next match, but due to mechanical problems with the hover semi they were driving on the regular job, Kenworth and Peterbilt were unable to make it to the arena in time for the match and were replaced by the Skyscrapers, who went on to defeat the Annihilators when Lex Sky pinned Theros with a power slam. The BFFs defeated the Queen Bees in their no disqualification match to earn a shot at the IIW Women's Tag Team Champions, the Multiple Bellas, when Brittany Hilton pinned Queen Bee number 2 with her double team finisher, That's Hot. And in the main event, Road Rage once again became the IIW Tag Team Champions when Rage pinned Terry when he hit a flying shoulder missile off the rope to Terry's ribs, while Roadkill trapped Terry's arms behind him as the referee was putting Tracy back in his corner after saving Terry from being pinned by Rage's finisher, the Furious Anger. In the first match on the April 25th episode of Collision, the Sisters at Heart defeated Los Tamales Caliente when Desiree pinned Holly Pena with her military press diamond cutter finisher, Every Man's Desire. The mysterious female who came down to the ring on the previous episode of Collision and helped Bootylicious Bertha put the Irish Hellcat Shannon Egan out of action for 2 weeks made her IIW debut on the next match on this episode. But as it turns out, she isn't exactly all female. Roseanne Palmer is the first true transsexual wrestler in IIW history, which allows her to legally compete in both the men's and women's division. Go ahead and get in your masturbation jokes because she's heard them all. As for whether or not she engages in self-love, Roseanne's not saying. As to her sexual preference, she prefers not to discuss it. Unfortunately for Roseanne, Destine defeated her in her debut match when she was forced to tap out to a figure 4 leg lock. Dr. Brain pinned Epsilon Beta with his inverted brain buster finisher, the Brain Surgery. One Man Army played taps on Sheik Khalid Sirhan for the pinfall victory. With the mechanical problems with their hover semi-tractor repaired, the 18-wheelers were able to arrive at the Pichico Arena for their rescheduled match against the Annihilators. After an incredible back-and-forth match between both teams, the 18-wheelers turned the Annihilators into road pizza when Peterbilt pinned Krogan with the Wheelers' double-team finisher, the Overturn. Demaya, the Devil's Daughter, turned away another challenger to her IIW Women's title when she pinned Plain Jane White with the Devil's Seed. After weeks of complaining, scheming, and ultimately earning an opportunity to wrestle for the IIW Women's Tag Team titles, the BFS became the new IIW Women's Tag Team Champions, defeating the Multiple Bellas when Donna Trump pinned Bella Nora with her swinging go-to-sleep finisher, You're Fired. And in the main event, Road Rage successfully defended the IIW Tag Team straps when Roadkill pinned Terry with the Annihilator. After the match, as Tracy and Rage brawled with each other outside the ring, Roadkill continued to use the Annihilator on Terry repeatedly. When the referee tried to stop the attack, he was tossed out of the ring before Roadkill continued his assault. When it was all over, Terry would leave the Pichico Arena on a hover stretcher and will be out of action for 7 weeks. After this short commercial timeout, we're going to take a look at the Pride and Honor fighting pay-per-view that took place on April 28th, which featured tournaments to determine the challenges for the PHF women's and middleweight titles at OSEP Battle Blue on June 30th at the Pepsico Arena. So stay where you are. We're coming right back.
So then I said, Mr. Prime Minister, I'm flattered that you love chocolate, but I'm here strictly in a professional. What's wrong with him?
He thinks you're naked.
My shell is brown. It just looks like my milk chocolate is showing. Only a fool would think I'd actually show up naked.
So it's that kind of party. Hit it!
I'm sexy and I know it.
Alright.
Look at that body. Look at that body. Look at that body.
I work out.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Nestle Flips. They're completely irresistible.
Ooh, I think I'll have one more right after this one.
Rolled gold pretzels and Nestle milk chocolate.
I share, but why?
Nestle Flips. What's your excuse?
Hello, we're doing a taste test.
Ocean spray cranberry juice versus vegetable juice.
First, the cranberry.
Tasty.
Now the vegetable juice, with more than 10 times the sodium of cranberry juice.
We have a winner.
New Starbucks Blonde Roast is another way to look at the bean. Another way that reveals the lighter, mellower side of our roast. Introducing delicious new Starbucks Blonde Roast. The lighter roast perfected.
Is your dandruff sending the wrong signals? Get Selsun Power. Doctors recommend Selsun Blue #1. So don't send the wrong signals. Get Selsun Power.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Just a reminder, you can find all the vacation activities you're looking for in the nearby mountains of West Virginia.
Mom, I gotta go!
Here in West Virginia, we've tested all of our activities for maximum family fun. Everything has been tested and retested to make sure your West Virginia vacation will be the best your family has ever had. So call today for more information and test out West Virginia for yourself.
We're back with the Ryan Sports and Entertainment Promotions Wrestle-Rap for May 2012. I'm David Barnes, owner of Orion Sports and Entertainment Promotions, and now it's time to take a look at what happened on the second Pride and Honor Fighting pay-per-view, which took place on April 28, 2126 at the Pepsico Arena on Deimos, Mars. April's PHF pay-per-view featured single elimination tournaments to determine the challengers for both the PHF Women's Division and Middleweight Division titles, with the finals to be held on June 30th at Orion Sports and Entertainment's pay-per-view Battle Blue. In the first round of the Women's Division tournament, 107-pound Pandora Stephanopoulos, fighting out of Athens, Greece, defeated 165-pound Sanctuary from the planet of Aethra by tactical knockout and putting the female gladiator out of action for 5 months. Sanctuary was created by Jason Giaconetti, as well as 5 other females competing in PHF, including Catherine and Rena Gracie, Kira Strutter, Haley Peanut Jean, and Flower Power Joshie Lynn. Rena Gracie, the 136-pound great-great-great-granddaughter of Brazilian legend Rickson Gracie and part of the 7th generation of the Gracies to compete in mixed martial arts, knocked out her cousin Catherine Gracie, the 120-pound great-great-great-granddaughter of Brazilian legend Royce Gracie. Muay Thai, the 250-pound bovine animal woman from Andromeda 8, made Kira Strutter, the 140-pound daughter of Galactic Wrestling Federation manager Vin Strutter from Canis Major, tap out to a guillotine choke. And Haley Peanut Jean, the 113-pounder fighting out of Brewster, New York, made her cousin Flower Power Joshie Lynn, 127 pounds and fighting out of Hollywood, Florida, tap out to a neck crank. In the semifinal round of the tournament, Pandora Stephanopoulos defeated Rena Gracie by technical knockout, putting Rena out of action for 4 months and earning herself a spot in the finals. And Haley Peanut Jean surprised the crowd in attendance when she made the larger Muay Thai tap out to a side choke to earn herself a spot to challenge Pandora for the PHF women's title on June 30th at Battle Blue. In the first round of the PHF middleweight division tournament, Zorsamadi, 215 pounds and fighting out of his home planet of Omegacron, knocked out Fireball Joe Thomas, the 213-pounder from Huntington Beach, California. Joe Thomas was created by Keith Bale. Ali Rashid, 200 pounds and fighting out of Doha, Kuwait, knocked out Jazaki, the 205-pound fighter from Nyokobi, Japan. Ali Rashid was created by Kyle Dusenberry, while Jazaki was created by Keith Bale. Iceman, the 204-pounder fighting out of Parts Unknown and created by Kurt Liggett, knocked out 207-pound Top Gun Langley Wright from Miramar, California. And 215-pound Heinrich von Mar from Munich, Germany, made the 200-pound Serpent Animan Sidewinder, created by Neely Bob Lau, tap out to a neck crank. In the semifinal round of the tournament, Zorsamadi knocked out Ali Rashid to earn a spot in the finals, while Iceman knocked out Heinrich von Mar to earn the other spot in the finals, to be held on June 30th at Battle Blue. Next month, we'll look at the final 2 tournaments to determine the challengers for the PHF light heavyweight and heavyweight title divisions, which is scheduled to take place on May 26th. And that's all the time we have for this edition of Wrestle-Rap. This program is written and produced by David Barnes, utilizing the 4.0 version of Sony's Acid Music Creation program, as well as Windows Movie Maker. All the match results and news on this program are based upon the rules and gaming systems for the Filsinger Games published Champions of the Galaxy Wrestling Games and the Filsinger Games published Pleiades Outlaw Warfare Mixed Martial Arts Games. This program was produced with written permission of Filsinger Games, and any rebroadcast of this program over any airwave or internet site without the express written permission of its creator David Barnes is strictly prohibited. For more information about the Champions of the Galaxy Wrestling Game and or the Pleiades Outlaw Warfare Mixed Martial Arts Game, visit www.filsingergames.com. For all of us at Orion Sports and Entertainment Promotions, have a pleasant day and join us again next month for another edition of Wrestle-Rap.